That is what we're talking about. Today we're going to find out if these two whiskeys are worth $225 and they aren't even on the market yet. This one over here, you might have heard of this, Old Forester's President's Choice Bourbon. This is coming in at 120.5 proof, but this one right here, for the first time ever, Old Forester President's Choice Rye. We're going to try these out. We're going to put them through the gauntlet, price, taste, drinkability. Let's see where they fall on our list. So just a few notes about these while we pour these up. These are coming in between 7 and 9 years old. This is Old Forester's President's Choice Rye. This one right here is the first time that they've ever put out a rye. 7 to 9 years old, coming in at 117.1 proof. It says release date 6/3, but it's not. The release day is going to be on the 14th. So if you have an opportunity and you're in these select states, these are going to be a nationwide release for the first time ever. So for the first time, these two bottles are going to be a nationwide release. That's right, these used to be distillery only pickup. Now they're in select states and select stores. I'm sure it's going to be very difficult to find them still, but let's go through these. Let's talk about the rye first. We're gonna put it through the gauntlet, price, taste, drinkability. We'll do drinkability, taste, price, and get through this pretty quick for you. Everybody knows time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. That is solid. We're going to start right into drinkability on this rye. Now, they say in their press release this traditionally ranges between 110 and 125 proof, which means I'm assuming at some point they can go lower or higher than that. Right now, we're in that sweet spot. 117.1 proof, coming in 7 to 9 years old. What's the drinkability on like? I think this is pretty good. I think this is a very easy sipper. I would guess between like the 112 to 113 range. So we're not crazy off, but at the end of the day, this is a rye. So you're definitely going to get a little bit more of that ethanol kick and a little bit more of that spiciness along with that. So let's give it one more sip. We'll give you a score. We give it a 7.0 if it drinks right at its proof. This is obviously under the proof. So for drinkability on the rye, I'm gonna go like 7.35. I think this is a pretty easy sipper, especially for a rye. 7.35 is where we're gonna put it on the rye. Let's get into the bourbon over here. This is what I'm really excited about. First time release on a rye, obviously exceptional that they're doing that, but I am really excited to try the bourbon on this. I've never had any of the President's Choice. If you have, put it in the comment section below. What did you guys think about it? Let's try this out. Traditional sip. Ooh, I'm excited. That is what we're talking about. Listen, Old Forester has been generous enough to send me a lot of their whiskey. They sent me a lot of samples in the past couple of weeks, and I will tell you, I don't always give them great reviews, and I tell them that, and they continue to send them to me. This bourbon right here is something special. When we talk about price on this, that's where I get a little bit scared, but I think this one's going to live up to the hype for me. This right here, when it comes to drinkability, I mean 120.5 proof. That's on the upper echelon. Like I said, it usually only goes to 125. This is an easy sipper. This, I think, sips just as easy as this, and we're another 3 proof points higher. So I think this is easy, maybe low 8s on this. I don't think it's like crazy. I would probably say it's like 112, 113 again, and this is 130, or sorry, 120.1. This is really hard. I think this is gonna be in the 8s for me. It's just how high should I go? I'm gonna go low 8s on this. I'm gonna go like an 8.13 when it comes to drinkability on the bourbon. And when we talk about the taste on this, guys, this is one of the best bourbons I've drank in 2025. It will be a Whiskey of the Year contender. The only problem is, am I going to get my hands on a bottle so we can put it in the competition at the end of the year? I'm gonna keep my eye out for them. I don't know what these go for on the secondary market. I should probably look that up. But let's talk about taste on this rye. Do not sleep on this rye either. This rye is very good. Let's talk about taste on it real quick. I mean, this one is really good. Again, don't sleep on this rye. This one's giving me a lot of sweetness that I wasn't expecting for a rye, right? Ryes, usually you lean towards those cloves, those black peppers, the spiciness on this. This is definitely giving me a lot of that spiciness, but it kind of rounds itself out nicely with the sweetness, and it's more of a fruit sweetness. I'm gonna try and guess what it is here in a little bit. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it rounds itself out so nicely with that age statement. That 7 to 9 year age statement on a rye just really works, especially for this glass right here. I think this is so well balanced. It's bold, and that's kind of what they talk about with this President series, is they talk about how bold and how balanced and how like in your face the profile is, and that's what I'm getting off this rye. I'm not disappointed by this rye at all. I like this a lot. I'm trying to think of what fruit note I get on this. It's like a darker fruit note too. I definitely get a dark fruit note on this, but there's something on this, maybe it's blackberry or something like that, something sweet going on in this glass. Then there's also like an orange zest on this as well. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's an orange zest, there's a spiciness to this. It balances itself out so well with the oak. This is a phenomenal whiskey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, the only thing that this is really missing is like a super long finish. I feel like I'm kind of got to go back to this a couple of times, but everything else on this is phenomenal. I'm not usually like the biggest rye drinker. I do enjoy a rye once in a while, but this is definitely hitting me pretty well right now. As far as taste on this goes, we've got to give this an easy 8. I think it's mid 8s on this. 8.42 is where we're going to put this when it comes to taste. But guys, don't sleep on this rye. This bourbon might be the highest score I've given anything this year. The taste profile on this is phenomenal. I mean, we're talking about those blackberries that I mentioned. We're talking about still gets a spiciness on this. The drinkability is fantastic. And then again, that age, it doesn't take it to the level of like extra oak or over oaked or leather or tobacco. And I don't like when it gets there. I don't like when a bourbon gets to that 15, 18 year range and it's like you feel like you're licking the inside of the barrel that it was aged in. This is just sitting perfectly at 7 to 9 years because I feel like they picked the right barrels for this. And we're going to talk about that, especially when we talk about price on this. Let's give this one more sip and then we'll give you a score when it comes to taste. The question is, do I put it in the 9s? I'm trying to think of a whiskey that I've had that's better than this, and I don't think I've had one. I'm going low 9s, 9.03 when it comes to that. I mean, this right here, this is what I'm looking for in whiskey. This is what I fell in love with whiskey. So like when you first start, right, you drink the 80 proofs, you drink the 90 proofs, they're kind of watered down, you're not really loving it. Then you get into like, all right, I can handle that, give me a little bit more proof, and you get that flavor behind this. This is what, like, when I made that transition into higher proof whiskey, higher proof bourbon specifically, this is what I fell in love with. This is everything that I'm looking for in a glass of whiskey. Phenomenal glass of whiskey. I mean, I can't believe how good this is. Let's talk about the price though, the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the price. Listen, I'm just going to come out and say it. Both of these bottles are going for $225. And I was thinking to myself, Chris, why would I pay $225 for this? If I didn't know anything about this whiskey and I saw it on the shelf, why would I pay $225 for it? And I don't know that I would. But I don't think Old Forester is looking for the clientele that doesn't know anything about this bottle and it's just sitting on a shelf, right? It's a limited release. First of all, it was never sitting on a shelf until this year. I don't know how many shelves it will actually sit on because I guarantee you this is sold out immediately. The selection process on this. So I'm of the idea that the people in charge are going out and they're trying these barrels for their blends, for their single barrels, for whatever it happens to be. They come across a special barrel and they say to themselves, this is special, let's set this aside for the president's choice. That is what you're paying for. The idea that somebody who works at this company, who gets to try all of their whiskey all of the time, is saying to themselves, that is special. I've done barrel picks. I've done barrel picks with groups that got to try 15, 20 barrels. And eventually you come across one and you say to yourself, that one is special. And if you're doing this every day, every week, every month, eventually you're going to come across enough barrels that are super, super special. And that's what they're doing here to make their president choice. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for that selection process. That's what I'm paying for. And do I think $225 is too much to pay for in that instance? I don't. I don't think it is. I think it's a little high for the rye because I don't love the rye. It's their first rye. It's probably going to get better as it goes. It's not the worst thing. I think it's a very good whiskey. The only problem is I had to drink it next to this bourbon, and this bourbon is out of this world. So I'm going to go back down towards those low 7s, like a 7.06 when it comes to price on the rye. The bourbon, though, one more sip and I'll give you a score on that. Here's what I'm asking myself. Would I spend my own money, $225 on both these bottles of whiskey? If I saw them both on the shelf at the same time, I'd probably pick the bourbon and not the rye, only because $500 at one shot is going to be a lot to pay. $450 plus tax, $500. If I saw them both separately, like a month apart, I'm buying them both. I'm going to be honest with you. If I saw the bourbon, I'm buying the bourbon, and then I saw the rye, I'm buying the rye. At $225, I would put up my own money for both of these whiskeys. And the bourbon, I would buy multiples of. Again, I think it's a 2025 Whiskey of the Year contender. I think you're going to hear other channels say that, and I think you're going to see other channels put it up there, and I'm not going to have the opportunity to because I don't have a bottle of it. That being said, I'm going to go 225 still a lot, right? Let's not get out of control. Let's go mid-8s on this. 8.37 when it comes to the price on this. At $225, it's not the greatest price. I would pay it, though. 8.37 is where we're going to put it on price. Let's just get right into our scores here. We're going to skip the Bourbon Bomb of the Week. The bourbon comes in at an 8.51, and that's going to be on top of the list. I mean, it's got to be up there. If this is a $95 bottle of whiskey, it's the best whiskey I've ever had for $95. If this is $200, it's still probably closer to those 9s. At $225, I think it's a tough ask for a lot of people. I don't think they're going to have any problem selling it. This bourbon is absolutely phenomenal. The rye came in at a 7.61. That's going to be top 5. I think it's my number 1 rye this year. I don't think I have another rye on the list. I will double check that for you. You'll see the list. It's right here. This rye is still, again, don't sleep on this rye. I think this is a very good rye. I think this bourbon just outshines it far beyond anything that I had any expectations for. I was honestly waiting to come on here and be like, $225 for this? No chance. $225 for either one of these, I think it's a fair ask. I'll be quite honest with you. This is coming from somebody who hasn't tried President's Choice before. I think there's like, the last time was a 12-year. Was that the last one that I saw, or was that like a previous one? I got to know in the comment section below. Have you tried the President's Choice? Because this is my first time trying it. I haven't had an opportunity to before. I want this bourbon. If you see this bourbon, I will buy it from you. If you own a liquor store, if you have an opportunity to get this, even if you want to just send me a little handshake, a little sample, so I can save it for my end of the year whiskey of the year, I would love that. I would appreciate it. But listen, that's where I'm going to leave you for today. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Make sure you click that like and subscribe right here on this video if you like this type of content. Please check out our Patreon page and our Discord. Both those links in the description below. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay trying $225 bottles of whiskey, because sometimes they'll shock you. Cheers, y'all.